What's up, everybody?
Howdy.
Welcome to another
Hi.
episode of this. What is this? The 75 Hard
To
Challenge?
this.
My life is crazy.
I know.
Like, you guys see what I go through. You just saw. I was just literally working. Like,
Back to back to
I
back.
worked, and then I came down here, set this up, then I went back to work. And now I came right down here, and we're on it.
Yep.
Mm.
Anyway, so it's been a couple weeks. I don't know how often we're going to do these. I think if we can, we're going to try to, I think if Marquesa can't make it, me and Maddie are going to try to do them weekly. We'll try to get on some sort of normal-ish
Yeah.
schedule.
I'm cool
I
with
think
that.
I can plan for weekly.
Yeah.
Thursdays are good.
Thursdays
Had
are
something
good.
come up, which is
Yeah.
why we're doing a little bit earlier this week. But
Yeah.
I don't know why he really just wants to hang out with me, I guess. He wants to make an area in our life where we're hanging out, I guess, but we want everybody to be involved. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm down for if Thursdays are good,
Yeah.
we can just make it a repeating
Yeah.
Thursday thing.
Yeah. Let's do
And
Thursday.
I like that.
usually the little bit later time works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not today, though.
So
Not today.
earlier, later, I don't think it matters. Nobody watches it live, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter when we do it. We could record it. We could even record it whenever and just post it.
Yeah, that's
whenever.
true.
So what day are we on? I'm not
Third.
even keeping track.
Today's Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
he's
What?
talking
today
about
we're
the
on-
75
Yeah.
hard.
We're on day
75 hard.
60.
60.
We have 15
61.
days.
So
for
you're
me.
on 61 and we're on
Mhm.
60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
15 more days.
I posted
14
mine
more days.
yesterday. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, it's been wild. It's been such a crazy, like, I keep looking back and like how crazy but awesome this summer has been. It has been a freaking blast.
Yeah.
Like, I will never forget how amazing this summer's been. Like, we started it so early. I swear, I think in May we were already like just out doing stuff like crazy
Yeah.
every day. It's been just so much fun. Oh my gosh.
Yes,
I love it.
it has been.
I'll never forget. Hopefully my kids won't
Summer of
either.
2024.
Yes, and we've just been so active and so many opportunities to be like physically active, doing physical exercise, and like Dex off the hook from doing yard work, because I just use it as my like today I did yard work for my workouts. So he's off the hook for that. I'm sure he's glad, but but yeah,
I've been
it's been amazing.
taking some responsibilities just so I can get workouts in.
Really,
too.
yeah.
David usually mows the lawn, and I've been doing it
Yeah.
because it's something.
Yeah, it does burn a
time.
lot of calories for what you're doing too. So, and out in the heat like that, like,
Yeah.
it's been so hot, but it's been really, I think, helpful with weight loss and all that. So
Yeah.
I think it's been so good. Tell everybody about
Oh my gosh.
our adventure the other day in the heat.
Yeah, I want to hear
How are you
about
feeling
that.
still?
I still have a headache.
You
or
still do
like a
since then?
very dull migraine.
So-
It hasn't gone away.
So you went on a hike. Where did you guys go?
We went to the living room lookout, which is up. Oh my gosh!
Oh,
what
it's up by-
canyon? It's like Red Butte Garden.
Yeah,
area.
so yeah,
was
it's-
Immigration Canyon.
yeah,
is what
yeah.
it is.
That's what it is.
Okay.
Over by
And it was
The
so
zoo
there's
and stuff.
no shade. It's not foresty.
it was like 102
It's
outside.
Yeah.
102 degrees, and yeah, it was brutal. We went right in midday, worst of it.
Uh-huh.
We all either almost or did run out of water.
I brought my whole gallon, and I was like, I'm just being dramatic, but I'm going to bring my whole gallon, because Clyde always tells me to bring a whole gallon.
Mhm.
And the boys brought their own 40 ounces.
Yeah.
And by the end, I had used it. Well, I gave some to Tiffany and her kids, and then, I drank the whole thing.
Yeah, and the other lady that was there with her 3 kids, they ran out of water. And
Scary.
she only brought 1 water bottle for all her and her 3 kids.
Yikes.
And so they ran out of water, and she was like, asked me, she's like, can I have some water for my kids? Because they
Wow.
were, we were all struggling. And so that was a hard situation too, because I didn't have very much water left. And so in my mind, and my kids were out of water, I'm like,
you just got to
I
get
can
down.
give you some of my water, but
Yeah.
it was kind of a scary thing to give her some of my water, because I needed that
Yeah.
water for me and my kids.
because you were like
I was
almost
dying.
passing out.
Yeah, so I got
Yeah.
heat exhaustion. It was too much.
Yeah, we really pushed ourselves that day.
Yeah, I was feeling nauseous and dizzy, and I just don't do well in extreme heat anyway, and so I think that had something to do with it. And
I don't think I've ever had any other time that I can remember being as sweaty as I was. And I was so grateful that you had fixed the truck air conditioning because it was immediately cool when we got in, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, thank God.
right when you
It
got
was
down
terrible.
to, I waited because I
Oh, yeah.
remembered that you didn't have AC,
Uh-huh.
so I was
Yeah,
like,
she offered.
"Do
She's
you
like,
need
do you need to
get
come
my car
in?
for a minute?"
No, I was so grateful. And then we went and got Gatorades and Slurpees because
Leah
the boys were really...
was at the bottom, and she luckily had a couple extra water bottles, so
Nice.
that was a
helped.
lifesaver.
Yeah, that was
But
rough.
yeah,
That was really
I was-
pushing our limits,
I was a
especially with the
little
kids.
scared.
It's like
Yeah.
one thing for you to do that for
Yeah,
yourself,
yeah.
right? But the kids, like
Mhm.
considering the situation, they were
Yeah.
all really good troopers.
Yeah.
You know?
I know those were going through my head, like, what if something, because
Mhm.
Natalia was crying. She
Oh,
was
she
not, she
was.
was struggling. Israel was just struggling, and so he was upset, and
Yeah.
he didn't want to stop. He's like, why do we keep
Can we
stopping?
just go?
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
wanted to go, and I needed to sit
Get outta
down or
here.
else I was going to pass out. And
Yeah.
it was not definitely an adventure.
I
But
mean, when we were in
not-
shade, it was bearable, and it was so like that's why I was like, if we have to sit in
Yeah.
the shade for as long as we need to, like
Yeah.
we have to.
But
you
there
know?
was
We can't-
such minimal shade too.
Yeah, it really-
Like it was.
yeah.
There was no water to be found either.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, there was at the very
the very,
end.
bottom of that little
yeah.
tiny stream. Israel has we all have an emergency straw too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We didn't bring it,
A life
Oh,
straw.
no.
but Israel was like,
I've never
this
heard of
would have been
that.
a good time to have the life straw.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. It's like a
Yeah,
filter or something.
It's like a filter. You can drink any and out of anything. And
Really?
it filters it up to like 1,000 gallons or something. So I usually have that
that's
in my
cool.
hiking backpack, and I took it out just to save space because I was like, we never need this. We're
Yeah.
not going
Mm-hmm.
on a 10-mile hike.
How it works.
And yeah, really wish I would have had that.
Oh
So
man, that's so cool. I want something like that.
yeah,
never heard of that.
We got a bunch, or we got one for each of us, but we've
Oh.
never opened them and used them.
Really. But yeah, by then we were down at the bottom anyway. It was really
Mhm.
close to the end, so
Yeah.
it was like, well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just
It was
go down
kinda
the
scary
street.
though. There
Yes.
was a moment in time. I was like, what
Kinda
if
panicking.
someone has to call for help? 'Cause
yeah. I even said that. I was like, well, if you guys need to sit in the shade, I'll try and run down and see if I can get
Yeah.
help. But
And even Tara too, she ran out of water and she went down quick, but she called me and she's like, "Are you guys doing okay? Because I almost passed out."
oh,
And
really?
Yeah,
And she's an
wasn't
avid
doing
hiker,
okay.
right?
Yeah,
Like she's
yeah.
been doing a lot
She
of
hikes
hiking.
a lot. Yes.
Yeah, you guys probably should have texted me. I would have brought you water.
I mean, I think we thought we were okay. We were just
Yeah.
taking our time. Like
Yeah.
it really was a short hike. It was
You
like,
like-
what did you say, 2 something
it was
miles?
A total. My watch had clocked us at 3.5 miles. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
3.5 out and back.
See, it was so
But it
short, but
wasn't-
it
it
took
wasn't
us
too crazy.
forever.
Yeah.
I think it's because it just felt like it was taking forever. We were stopping
And
every
Yeah.
chance we got
Well, it was
in the
so
shade.
inclined
Yeah, there was a
that
big
we had to
incline.
stop frequently, and we had little Milo, and then there was like
Mhm.
a 2-year-old that
Yeah.
she was carrying and putting,
Yeah, and oh man, Milo eventually got to where he was doing okay, but at first he's always just like, I don't want to do this.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hate hiking. I'm
He
like,
was-
I'm not taking you on a hike ever again. He's all, good. I hate hiking. I was like, you're not supposed to say that. You're to the age now where he like
Don't
he
threaten
doesn't.
me with a good time.
Yeah,
Mom.
exactly. I was like, oh man, now I have to.
No, I
Follow
was very
through.
proud of everybody that
Yeah.
pushed through because
Yeah.
that one was tough.
Yeah, Tiffany and her
And
kids
I don't blame
didn't
Tiffany
even go up all the
for-
way.
Yeah,
They
they
went
went
back down.
halfway and then turned around.
Poor Evie, she was so red, her face. Like she's
I
really
know.
fair and blonde, and so she was just like,
Yeah.
and so I mean, so was Milo, but
Well, and they didn't bring they brought a 16-ounce water bottle to share between the two kids.
and
And then
Tiffany
Tiff
didn't bring any.
even bring any.
Nope.
uh,
What the?
we saw a girl walking up that had no water either. Did you see her?
Yeah, I
She
think she
had
came back
no-
down though, right?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I think she was
She
just
was
like,
shortly behind you guys or somebody.
She was
either.
just getting a few
But
steps
yeah,
in, I guess.
she probably
Yeah.
changed her mind or something. and-
Yeah, it was pretty rough. Anywho,
Yeah. Anyway,
that was our hardest one I think we've done
Yeah.
yet, and it was pretty short, but it was very challenging and difficult. And
Yeah.
so we were going to do Ensign Peak this week on Tuesday, but she
Yeah.
changed her mind. She's like, we probably shouldn't do that
Yeah.
because we did it last year in the heat, and it's a really fast one, but it's
It
super
was,
steep,
but it was hot,
and it was very hot. I
and-
remember. Yeah.
So maybe if we do something like that, or any of them that don't have shade, we should probably do those hikes in like September or
Mhm.
something.
Yep. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say so.
Y-
So she
yeah.
changed it to just like a waterfall where we can the kids can just play while we
Yeah,
just, we
it's
won't
still in
really
the
be hiking.
mountains. It's a 0.2 mile hike, so
Yeah.
a little bit of a walk, but then we can just go be by cool water.
Yeah. Yeah, Milo will be
Sounded
happy
good.
about that, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
He doesn't
But
want to do
anyway,
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
our adventure this week.
Have you ever had anything like that happen before?
not
lose water?
to a point where I thought I might need a call for help. I mean, other than the bear encounter, but
Yeah.
Right.
nothing where I was worried like that. That was terrifying.
Have you
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Scouts?
Yeah, we did Lambs Canyon one time, and we ran out of water,
Oh my gosh.
but we were like, I think we were 5 miles in.
Oh,
5
wow.
miles?
So we went in 2 miles or so, and then we woke up the next day. We spent the night on the mountain, woke up and hiked in more. And we just left our gear at camp, and basically it just kind of got hot, and so we just drank all our water. And so there was, I think there was like 2 or 3 adults, and I want to say 4 or 5 kids. That we probably like 1.5 miles or 2 miles of, real steep uphill
Yeah.
to camp with no water.
Oh my.
Mm.
Like they got to the point to where they just were like, okay, you guys go ahead and see if you can get water. And so me and another kid just went ahead and got water and brought it back to him. I think.
Oh, just like in a stream or something?
No, like we went back to camp and got the water.
Oh, at camp.
Like
It was at camp.
we were worried about Giardia,
Right.
and there was water all around us. Like we probably should have just drank it and kept going. But
Just hoped for the best.
yeah, I mean, I do think it's interesting that, like they say, as far as like survival goes, you can go a few days without drinking water and you won't die. I mean, I'm sure it's uncomfortable, like, like you noticed, it's super uncomfortable. And
Yeah.
if it's
Yeah.
hot out, I don't know, but
When you're
Yeah.
sweating that much
Well,
too,
yeah.
it definitely.
I was dripping. Like
Yeah.
my clothes were just wet. Like I
Yeah.
was just.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
well, and that's one
Soaking
thing
wet.
too that I've heard is that if you're still sweating, you might not feel good, but you are still hydrated.
Right.
Yeah.
It's when you
That's-
stop sweating that
That
you really
makes
need to be
sense.
worried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still
I think the
sucks, though.
scariest part of it was that my kids were with me,
Mhm.
and I
Right.
felt helpless for them
I
because
know.
I didn't have water for them.
You're like I'm like supposed to.
yeah,
take care
I'm
of
supposed
you.
to protect my kids.
I'm not
and
doing that.
So there was that, and then
Yeah.
also like I need to keep myself okay to be able to protect
Mhm.
my
Yeah.
kid. So
Right.
it was a scary situation.
Well, we were all together. I was feeling pretty woozy too, but I still was like I had tons of water, so I felt okay. And I
Yeah.
kept offering. I'm like, I have water.
I know.
I still have some more.
Well, and we
Boys had more?
We had some. We had like maybe a cup left.
Oh my gosh.
When you
So
got
I was
back.
just trying to save it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting.
wild, man. So fun though. So fun to like challenge yourself in these ways, even though
Yeah.
it's
Go
Yeah.
see
you
what-
feel good
see what
after.
you
I don't know.
can
I
do.
felt good still. I was like, I can't believe we did that. That's crazy.
Yeah. I felt good in that sense, but it took me. I mean, even yesterday, I wasn't.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
I was
That
just
sucks.
like, yeah, just not feeling very good. But
Anyways.
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah. Well, we're all safe and
Everybody
good.
made it back.
yes.
102.
Well, I think we still had service sort of too, like in certain
We did have
parts.
service.
So I think we could have still called for help if we
Tara
needed to.
called
Up there.
me too, and then I called Leah and made sure that she was with because that other lady's
Right.
little boy went down
Went
ahead.
yeah.
And they were struggling, and so I called to make sure Leah had her little boy,
Oh.
and she did, and he was sitting in their car getting cooled off, and I was like, do you by chance have any water? She's like, yeah, I do have some actually. So that
good.
was motivational. Like,
Yeah,
that's when
just
I
get outta
sped
here.
up too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but I was
I
just
did.
like, I gotta
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I have to get down there.
Yeah.
So I
Because
don't
the boys
die.
wanted to play in that little stream for a while, and so we're playing in that for a minute. But
Mm.
yeah, you guys were ahead of us
Yeah,
by
I
then.
was just like, I just gotta keep going or I'm gonna pass out.
Craziness.
Anyway.
Yeah. It's been
So-
super amazing summer, and I'm so sad it's going to be over soon.
I know. I'm excited for fall though.
I am too. But I just feel like there's so many less opportunities to,
There is, but I feel like we have a different, or at least me, have a different outlook coming into the season of. I'm not. I still feel motivated to do good, and and fall, you can still go for walks. They're nice,
Yeah.
brisk, cool. Like there's still so many opportunities. We
Yeah.
can still go on hikes. We can still go on walks
Right.
until it
I
starts
think I'm still going to
snowing.
do that, and even in the winter, I'm going to really try to stay
Just-
up on my walk,
Mhm.
on my walking and my.
I still want to, even in the winter, like do the whole outdoor as much as possible, just get
Mhm.
outside. And
Yeah.
so, yes.
But it's the problem I have with it is that I've always noticed, and this is probably just something I have to overcome, but I've always just noticed you get, I don't know if it's this like instinct or what, but you just kind of get this instinct to sort of like cozy up
Yes.
and stay inside
Yeah.
and you're not motivated to like
Yeah.
get up right away and go work out.
Yeah.
And, I want to eat a lot of
Right.
crap way
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
I'm more than usual.
Yeah.
I feel like. I don't know.
I'm
It's
the
just like a
same way.
bad
I
situation.
am the same way. And it's a worry, but also I feel like I'm trying to keep in my head and I have this motivation that this year's going to be different. Like,
All right.
I made a change.
Yeah.
And it was a
Yeah,
habit.
so-
I have a new habit, I have a new
Mhm.
lifestyle. And
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do you guys have any plans? Like, do you have any winter workout plans? Like, are you gonna go running? If it snows, you just gonna go
I
out and
plan
run in
to
the snow?
still do outdoor
do
activity
too.
every day.
Unless it's a really bad day, I think so too. I think I'm
Yeah.
planning on at least walking like I've been doing in
Yeah.
the circles.
Yeah.
And if it's so bad that you can't walk, then shovel the
Then something
driveway.
else, right.
Like you can
Yeah.
still get outdoor and do some activity.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's my goal. My goal is to stick with the workouts. I don't know if I want to still do 90 days or have to do 90 days or 90 minutes. I mean,
Oh yeah.
but I do want to make sure that I'm doing some outdoor activity
Right.
every day,
Yeah.
even if it's 5 minutes. I need some. That's something I'm going to try to commit to.
Yeah. I really like seeing the progress. Like I've said this before, but I just really like seeing, like I'm definitely seeing a ton of progress just like the last couple weeks in my muscle tone, in my stretching. Like I'm way more flexible.
Mhm.
Like even my arms, doing arm workouts and things are so much easier, like
Yeah.
all of a sudden. And so I think, yeah, I really like the idea of MadFit does a winter program where she'll do a whole month and you just have to follow the whole month. And now I'm like, oh, a whole month is like easy now.
Yeah.
Now that I've been doing 75 days,
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
do that. So, and I did it 1 year and it was difficult, but it was, I think I'll just probably do something like that and try and keep my steps up. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I was wondering, I was thinking, and I was going to research it more, but I didn't. But I just keep thinking, like, what is the psychology behind, like, focusing so much on yourself and on your body and your well-being? Like, I know that, I'm doing like meditation in the mornings and in the night, or it's called the silent prayer, but it's basically meditation. And I notice a change with that. Just taking so much time to focus on yourself, even though it's not like necessarily something I would want to do. If I could choose anything, like to focus on myself, I would like watch a movie and like take a bath or something. But this is still like forcing me to do something for myself for such a big chunk of my day.
Yeah.
And I wonder what the psychology is behind that. Like, how is that affecting me? Like, psychologically, and I don't know. I'm just curious about that. I might have to research more on that.
Yeah.
I was trying to look it up, but
Interesting.
there was just a book that it kept giving me the book, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I just want to know like what the internet says about
Well, I
it.
know most things always say like you having self-care if you don't take care of yourself, it's harder for you to be able to take care of others
Mhm.
too. So I think that has something to do with it, where you're taking care of yourself, you are able to be more open to helping others.
Right.
And
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel less emotional, less, more just kind of like in a mindset, a mind frame of like, just got to do it, got to get it done. Like there's
Yeah.
no like talking myself out of doing things. I'm just,
Yeah.
because there's so much to do, so much I have to do every day. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I just have to do it. I don't have any second thoughts
Mhm.
really about it. I think that's like a really good place to be,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
because then you're not falling into, these like lies that you're telling
Yeah.
yourself about.
Well, and I think there's always going to be that constant battle too. I mean, I still, where I'm at right now, I still have moments where I'm like, I wish I could just do nothing today. Like, I just
Mhm.
want a day of
Mhm.
Right.
laziness and stay in bed all day and binge
Yeah.
watch a show.
Yeah.
Like I still.
It's such a rarity that it
Yeah.
sounds really great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, could you do it though?
Yes,
either?
I
'Cause
think
it's
that
like,
after we hit our 75 days, I think it's okay to, if you keep it at it every once in a while,
Right.
like treat yourself to that. Do that.
Yeah.
yeah, but like,
Because
have you?
then
Let me ask you this though: have you tried?
Have I tried to be lazy?
Yeah.
No, because I can't.
So there you go. He's got a point. Would you really do it? Would you really do it if you
would be
could?
able
I
to,
don't
though?
know. I would probably. I don't know.
Well, I guess
I'll
we'll
let
see
you.
on
I'll
day
get back
76.
to you
Yeah.
after 15 days.
Yeah, like
I was
literally
thinking
76.
that after we are done, that we should do like a week after check-in, a 1 month check-in, and just see where we're at too with the 75 hard.
I think that's a
that
good
would
idea.
be-
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
absolutely. I think
Yeah.
that'd be really
so
good.
so I used to be really lazy, and I would just sit around and do nothing.
Oh my God, we both were.
And then
so lazy.
and then I stopped being that way, and I got busy, and just basically I've been busy. But now every once in a while, when I want to have one of those days, like my legs will ache if I
Mhm.
sit on the couch
Yeah.
too long, and I have to get up and do something. It's like a physical thing. It's not
Yeah.
even
Response.
Yeah. So I wonder if you will notice that or
That's
not.
interesting. Yeah, I'll test it out for you and let you know.
Yeah, I mean, knowing you,
Well, no,
it
even
sounds like
when
a
I
good
am-
idea, but
When I am in like back prior to 75 hard, I like lazy days. They made me feel worse. Like I
Uh-huh.
didn't feel
Yeah.
good, or I was still doing something. I was just doing it in bed, or like
Yeah.
it was never a nothing day. I can't not do a nothing
Mhm.
day because I have given myself so many obligations.
yeah, I mean, so
Yeah.
literally your only lazy days are probably like mine, where they're just like you
still
you
have
have
so
such a
much
bad
to do.
migraine that you can't do anything
Oh.
else physically. You can't get out of bed.
Yeah,
Those are the only days that I
Like-
feel like I take
Like there's
time
no
off.
there's no psychological relief to that though, because your only lazy day you're sick.
And you can't stop thinking about how you wish you could be doing something
Yeah.
else
Right.
that
Yeah.
you need to be doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Being a
fulfilling
parent
your-
is difficult.
Yeah, it is.
Like I don't feel like life was like this before I had kids. But
Mm-mm.
I mean, and, like a lot of it I put on myself, but it's still like, you have to go out and you have to do things, and you can't just like clean your house because they're going to jack it up.
Mhm.
They're going to mess it up. Like, yeah.
Yeah, you can't. I think about that all the time, like how I used to never do dishes. I would do them like
Yeah.
twice a week or something
Right.
because I didn't have to.
No,
I was
it's
just
like-
like
it's
just
like
leave them in
every
there.
day.
But now it's just such a constant.
Well, I never cooked before either though. Like I would eat a lot of microwave food on a paper towel. And so
Mhm.
I wouldn't even use a dish. That's just
Yeah, that's
what I
true.
would eat. So, or I would go to fast food.
Mhm.
But now I like literally cook. So like I pull out, many dishes to make food.
Yeah, but what's better, I
Yeah.
like do not miss that life at all. I do not.
It's worth
Like,
it.
Yeah, I mean, I do miss like the days where we would like,
Mm-hmm.
we could just feel okay about being lazy, which was a lot of
Yeah.
the time. But we were just so stuck, and we had nothing to look forward to or to, do with our lives. Nothing, no reason to be better.
Yeah.
right? So we were just like wasting away in our freaking 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of hungover
I think
days.
everybody
Yes.
goes through that phase,
Yeah.
or most people. I don't
Yeah.
know, but yeah, I mean that's definitely how. I feel like that's been a moment, a chunk of life of my
Mhm.
life, you
Yeah.
know. And then
Yeah.
I took to keeping myself busy to avoid it, but it didn't include exercising and taking care of
Mhm.
myself, and you know.
Yeah.
So this is all new.
It's such a good, I feel like it's just so beneficial in ways that I probably don't even realize, that we probably don't
Yeah.
even understand. And like just taking that time for ourselves so much time. Like I don't even, I feel bad doing it because I'm like, I feel like I'm just like neglecting my kids so much, but I don't know. They seem to be enjoying it. It's less time that they have to be like, you know,
Yeah.
under my thumb or whatever. I'm sure they're
We've
really
been-
grateful.
We've been doing like a weekly one-on-one time with our kids. So David and Israel will be doing something, and me and Natalia. But we
Oh,
take
nice.
an hour and then we switch or whatever, or we plan it on different days. Anyway, we have weekly one-on-one with each kid, and like they're pretty motivated to like, let's go for a walk.
Oh, really?
Okay, let's go for like Israel will always be down to play soccer. You know, like it makes me happy that like they're active. They're active.
You're seeing them.
They're seeing that I'm seeing this like active lifestyle or active. They're not as much like, no, I'd rather not do. You know,
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, yes, there's they'd rather play video games with us.
Right.
Yeah.
That's an addiction thing. I think. I don't know. Some people say it's not, but I
Yesterday,
definitely
me and
think it
Natalia
is.
painted our nails. But
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like incorporating those things with the kids has
Mhm.
definitely just made them better. So as much as, because I had felt bad that I'm focusing too much on myself
Right.
for moments in time, but it's actually benefiting my
I
whole
think you're
family.
right, too.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You're becoming
Well-
an active unit,
Yeah. Well,
an active
there's
family.
there's
Yeah.
something to be said that I heard the other day, and it's really insightful because they're basically like, you shouldn't want to have your kids have a better life than you. Because, and hear out the logic behind it, because if you spend all of your time trying to get your kids to have a better life than you do, all they do is copy you.
right.
So when they
I
grow
know.
up, they're going to just try to get their kids to have a better life than them. And then their kids are just going to try to get their kids to have a better life than them. You see what I mean?
Mhm.
And so that person's point was, what we should do is try to have a good life, and our kids will copy us.
Mhm.
So if we're out there working out, our kids will want to go work out more,
Yeah.
be active,
Yeah.
and if we eat right, they might want to eat right, So
That makes
like-
sense.
That is true. I mean,
We usually live like or at least I used to, but do as I say, not as I do
Mhm.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
yeah, and they
that's-
don't even know that they're doing that. I mean, they
Yeah.
they do copy everything we do. So that makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah, because that's how I feel like I grew up. I feel like my parents always said that about, they were like, oh yeah, you're so much further along than we were at your age. And like, I think it was to my detriment sometimes that my parents my dad especially like wanted more for us than he had. But it taught us different lessons than
Yeah.
what he learned.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's
you don't want to be miserable,
yeah,
and your kids
but-
will know that you're miserable. Yeah, I think there's a good
that
point.
makes sense.
Well, I think it's really also,
It's
something
probably
that I
good.
haven't thought about in a long time, which this book, You're a Badass, that I've been reading, that Marquesa read, has been sort of reigniting these ideas in my head of like who I am and what the things that I want as an individual, like not just as a mother, as a wife. I think that those things could be really enhanced. And we've talked about this too many times. Me and Clyde have had many arguments, many conversations. He's always, because
Yeah,
he's got
but-
so many goals in life,
but,
and
like,
I've just
I'm
never
trying
really
to-
had
Yeah.
that motivation.
It's like opposite though, because I'm trying to push you into
You
a
are
goal.
so
I'm
he's
like,
so
go
supportive.
find something to do with your
Yes.
life that's like that you want to do,
Yeah.
but you just can't tell me what you want to do, or you can't think of what you want
Yeah.
to do. It's
Well,
like I have all these hobbies. I mean, that's what this is basically. It's like, but
I think
yeah.
the problem with me is that I've for a long time I've really felt sort of like boxed in, or like, and not because of anything you've done or anybody else has done. I just feel like I can't do the things that I want to do. Like I don't have the opportunities or the abilities or the whatever, right? And as many times as he's told me, like, you have so many things that you could be doing, so many things you could be learning. If you don't, if you want to learn something, you could do it. You just have to have a plan, and, like, I'll help you, whatever you want to do. Like, he's always throwing out ideas on what, other kind of jobs I could do. So I really find that this book is kind of reigniting those ideas in my mind that, like, oh yeah, like I could literally do anything I want to do. I just have to figure out how to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's told me that so many times, but it's just, I guess it's just sort of starting to make sense again, because I am taking so much time for myself that I'm like, oh, I can, it's not just about my husband. It's not just about my kids.
Right.
Homeschooling is amazing and I love it. And it's one of my passions. Actually, I do have a big passion for homeschooling, but what else is there for me? Like, what can I do for me more that, and I happened upon this, and we've talked about doing this. Like, I need to come up with a better way of doing like my sourdough bread, but there's like mini bakeries that you can do. They call it a cottage bakery something or other, but you can get like a permit and you can cook out of your kitchen, and as long as you don't have animals, which we don't anymore, which is, there's an opening for that now. It's a possibility. And it's one of the first, like, I saw a video of a girl doing it, and it was the first time I've really felt like motivated in a long time to do something, as a business.
Yeah. You could start there and move to a food truck easily.
Right. And I thought that was such a good idea that people I've never seen one where it's like a specific sourdough sandwiches, sourdough, whatever. I don't know.
I'm sure there is one
you
out
could
there.
expand, however, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just really kind of exciting, and the first time I've really felt like a little twinkle inside, like about something for me, for myself,
that's awesome.
Something that I want to do. And I really like this book, and self-help books. I
I
struggle with
told
self-help
you
books.
You have to read it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Told everybody.
It is really good.
So did you get
Read
the
it
same thing out of it?
Yeah, I mean, it was very that's I loved it so much because it was very motivational. And I mean, I am more of a doer.
Right. You already
I've
you're
done
like me.
so
You
much.
already like you just go for your
I
like,
do.
your
I
goals.
jump into things all in. Like, I dive in, and sometimes I completely ignore all my surroundings 'cause I'm so hyper focused on things. But yeah, I mean, it definitely sparked things up for me. Yeah, it was very motivational to just focus on me and to yeah.
I think it's a good book. Maybe you should read it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of
I
like,
think
it kind
everyone
of reminds
should
me
read
of
it.
like The Secret, or, it's sort of similar ideas. And she does talk about God, but she calls it the
Higher
power source or
something.
something like that.
The higher
it's
power.
Sort of something like that. And it's,
Just in the
some
sense
of it is
that anybody, I mean, it can be whatever you want it to be.
yeah.
Yeah.
But there are definitely like themes in the book that I'm like, oh yeah, this
yeah.
makes sense. This is all stuff we've talked about, all of our, philosophies and our spirituality and all that is basically entwined with it, and it's just a matter of like making things happen for yourself.
Yeah. That's probably one of the books I feel like I will probably read again at some point.
Oh, yeah?
Just to
Get
give me
more
that
out of it.
motivation again. Like it was very motivational.
Yeah, it's super cool. And it's really like what I like about it too, the parts that I'm reading now, it's like also just don't take things so seriously. Like just have fun and just go try things, and and that's my biggest issue, is that I get really insecure. If I'm not just like good at something right away, I really struggle with that,
Yeah.
doing voice lessons. I'm a singer. I've taken lessons. I know how to sing, and I don't necessarily know how to teach how to sing. I don't necessarily know how to play anything. So like those kind of things creep into my head where I'm insecure, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? Like those those insecurities really, I give into them so easily. And, you know, I like the book because it does sort of put it into perspective where you're just like, oh yeah, just have a good time. Like, just
Yeah,
try things.
Why not?
And if
What's
you
the
fail, do it
worst?
again.
But-
Like
Yeah.
Clyde always says that. That's
Well,
part
I
of
fa-
it. You
I
have to fail.
all the time.
Yeah.
Like I have built things and I've spent money and built a thing and it's failed and I've just literally had to cut it up
Yeah.
and throw it away.
And it's just like stupid tax, basically,
yes,
or whatever.
You know,
I've done
Well, no, it's not stupid tax because you learned something from it, but it's
Yeah.
just
exactly.
Yeah.
This is the thing is that you learned how not to do it,
Yes.
which is more valuable than learning how to do it.
uh-huh.
I was listening to this thing the other day. It was this podcast that I read that book, The Compound Effect.
Oh, right.
And he has a podcast thing. Anyway, he was just stating on there that anybody, like, you cannot become successful. The most successful people fail so many times
Yeah.
before they're successful, and you can't be successful without failure. And
Right.
that's a hard thing for some people
Mhm.
to grasp and realize because they're so scared of failure
Yep.
that they just don't do it. But if
Yeah.
you don't do it, you'll never be successful,
Yep.
kind of thing, you know?
Yep.
Just a reminder of that. But
Yeah.
it's so true. It makes
It's just
sense.
hard to
And
put yourself out there. For me, it is very
It
hard to put
is.
myself out there and to fail and feel stupid. And
Yeah.
you know, that's how I grew up. That's how my parents
Yeah.
were. They're, you know, you just don't want to feel stupid. You don't want to look stupid. You want to, you know,
Yeah, but the thing is that what you're losing by having that philosophy is that you're not going into discovery.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so
Well, and it's just if you continue to try to change that mentality of looking at it from a different perspective, or look, you know,
yeah.
would you tell your child not to do something because
Exactly.
of failure?
yeah.
You know, treat yourself like a child.
Oh my God. All the time. I say things to Declan all the time that I'm like, I am not one to be able to say this to him.
Yeah.
But it makes sense to me as I'm saying it to him. But I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not living that
Right.
life. I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm preaching to,
Well, and that's
Myself
you know,
here.
That's kind of where he's getting it from. You know, it's like you got to think that the way you act is the way
Right.
they act.
yep,
So
just like you're saying. Yeah.
more is
he's-
caught than taught.
Right.
That's the mantra. So
Yeah.
they're gonna act like you act.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and then you know,
They
going
do.
back to the failing thing, it's like they say it's you don't necessarily even have to be gifted at whatever you're trying to do.
Mhm.
If you're persistent enough, you can make up for, you know, not knowing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get better at it. You can,
Yeah.
yeah. I definitely agree with that. I just have never applied that to my life, I guess. You know, and now, and it goes with anything else, really. Like even just losing weight. I remember losing all the weight and then gaining weight back and being like, oh, I have to start over, and getting so caught up in that idea that like every day I would not start over. Every day again, I wouldn't start over. Like, so I'm just compounding the issue. I'm just making it even worse. And then I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm still making it worse. So it's just creating more of a
Yeah.
problem instead of just like, okay, today, right now, in this
Yeah.
moment, I'm
you don't
having
have
this
to wait
thought.
till Monday.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
just going to, I'm just going to start again and we'll get to wherever I
Yeah.
get whenever I get there, instead of, you know, and same goes with everything else. Like everything is like that. You just have to stop being, I need to stop being afraid. And
Yeah,
Just
everybody
go
who
for it.
has done it, whatever the thing is, they started where you are. Is that thing just sagging?
Kind of.
Yeah.
okay.
Here, let me come fix it.
yeah, I don't know. Just a lot of things going off in my head, a lot of alarm bells, a lot of,
Okay.
you know, I don't want to get bogged down by the idea that it's too late, you know, and sometimes it feels too late. It feels too late to learn skills that I don't have. You know, I know how to
Yeah.
sing. I know I can kind of bake, you know, those are ideas
What do you
that I
mean?
can jump off of.
Yeah.
But you know, what if I want to, you know, have a quilting business? I don't know.
I mean, what if it's
I-
like you're?
I'm
know,
not good at it, but I have to learn
Yeah.
at some point if I want to do it.
Well, you should come hang out with me more because I don't know anything. I don't have any idea what I'm doing. Like I don't know how to.
I would love to
weld.
hang out with you.
I don't
more.
know how to weld, right? But
You're out there
you
doing
know,
it.
6 months ago, I didn't know how to arc weld.
Yeah.
I had never done it, maybe once or twice, and now I can do it okay.
And you're teaching Declan how?
And now I'm teaching Declan how.
Yeah.
but like MIG welding is easier than arc welding in some amounts, but it's like I just go out, you can watch YouTube, but mainly the thing is the experience.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
changes everything, so you just have to go do it.
And if it's something that you find is not a passion and not whatever, cool.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
a waste, or I don't know. I've done so many businesses. I've always been like entrepreneur and done all these little side businesses and then always either got bored with it
Mm-hmm.
and moved on to something else, and so in my mind I failed, or I didn't push through, or I wasted all this money investing in
Yeah.
this little thing, whatever, but if you look at it from like, I learned marketing skills, I learned sales skills, I learned
Yeah.
this, like all those things. I wouldn't have this group now and found my passion in homeschooling
Yeah.
if I didn't go through all of those, learning the business and learning all these, all
That's
these
true.
tools that got me here. And I'm still in search of my next thing. I don't even know what that is. Right now I'm trying to let it just be homeschool and calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, where do we fit these things in? But it's just like, if it's a priority, it's going to be a priority. You're going to make it.
Yeah, you can
You know,
find
you're gonna-
time.
Yeah, you're going to
I'm
figure it out.
busy,
Yeah.
but I still find time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a way.
Yeah.
Get off Facebook.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah.
Watch this and then
Cut
get
your
off
time.
YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. Watch this first.
Yeah.
Or just do this while you're listening, listen to this and do whatever you need to
Yeah.
do. And
Right.
then, we're not doing anything
You don't even need to
spectacular.
watch this. Go run while you're listening to us
Yeah.
talk about failure. Yeah. And there's tons of successful people who've talked about this, that failing is necessary to success.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you just hope you don't fail so hard that it breaks you.
Yeah.
If you can get back up and keep going, then
Yeah.
you'll
Yeah, and
learn a lot.
I feel so, like, I have to think about that all the time too. Like, I'm so lucky to have Clyde and his encouragement and his positivity about it. He's always like, we can put money into whatever you want to, we can invest some money into whatever business, just like give me some numbers. Like, I just never really fully come into like deciding what I want to do, I guess. But he,
Yeah,
if I
it's
can
so
give him
hard.
numbers and we can plan this out, and like, he's so good with that stuff. Like, I really need to take advantage of that.
It's so hard though. It's
Yeah.
so hard to be like, we're trained to go to work, and I
Right.
don't know how
The
you
rat
think
wheel, the
about
rat
this, but
race or
it's
whatever.
like you basically go to school and they're like, okay, perform these tasks and you'll get rewarded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
Literally.
school
Here's
is.
Gold
It's-
star.
Yeah, it's not even like, I'm going to teach you this thing because you need to know it. If you fail to learn the thing that you need to know, they move on.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
if you don't learn 2 + 2 = 4, they just move on. And if
Yeah.
you don't learn that enough, they hold you back. But really what they do is they just teach you, do these things and get rewarded.
Yeah.
And then when you bust
When you
out,
skate
they're
by.
like, okay, go to work now. Do
Yeah.
these things and you get rewarded.
Yeah.
Do these things. Like, it's just a full on thing.
I think that's what I love about homeschooling too, and that's the biggest thing that we're teaching our kids is to learn how to teach themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
all that matters. That's all that's, because you can learn anything you
Right.
want. You just need to know how to learn, how to find the answers, how to do research or what,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's a big focus for my family, at least.
Yeah. No, I agree. I love that idea. Yeah. I mean, even just whenever they bring up, like, constantly throughout the day, multiple times a day, they're like, what's this mean? Or what's this? Can I see a picture of this? How does this work? And we'll research it. We'll look into it, or, we'll make it, like Declan wants to make these melted crayon things. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll figure it out. I'll talk to Dad. We'll get some sort of molds or whatever, and we'll do a craft, if you want. He's not into craft. So I'm like, okay, we could do that. Just like little things like that, where they come up with whatever they want to learn or
Yes.
do. And
Right.
I feel like most of the time I'm down, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's try it. Let's, let me plan it out. We'll, do this on this day, or
Yeah.
I'll put it on my calendar and we'll make it a point to learn
Yeah.
about that or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
really is.
So you
Um,
need to find that in yourself.
I know.
that
know.
that exploration, that like going out and manipulating the world. You
Mhm.
know, it's like so key. I feel like, and so many adults lose it because
Yep.
they're like they have to be serious, and
Yeah.
you know, I
Yeah.
can't go try something new.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it's like I feel like you could get stuck in a shell because you're stuck in this box, you know, of the world.
Yeah.
And it's like you go to work, come home, you know, you get the house, you get the wife or the husband, you get the kids, and you're just like, okay, this is my box and I'm just going to live here.
Mhm.
But then at some point, I feel like so many people are like, okay, but what about I wanted to be an artist?
Yeah, you
and
forget.
like I stopped painting,
Yeah.
you know, and you're just like, well, but you can't just like fully commit your whole life to your family.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah,
have
because you
something.
become resentful, and I feel like I've been there
Yeah.
a few times where I,
And
you know,
then
and I think a lot of people do. They become resentful. They get divorced.
Yeah, right.
They, you know, because
Yep.
because they couldn't see that in themselves. They forgot to give themselves some time.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's really probably where it stems for a lot of women, because you become so like
Yeah.
focused on your kids.
Yeah,
and
though I
You
think
lose yourself
Yeah.
and who you are.
you don't
and-
give yourself that time, that love, you know. And you're also just seeking it out. Like your partner can't give you everything that you need.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
have to remember that. You can't just expect that. You have to remember like they are just another person, and
Yeah.
you know, and I feel like Clyde has always been so good about being humble and being grateful, and you know, being there for me. And I just have always been, I don't know, you know, just emotional. And so I'm really working on that. I'm really trying to get to where, you know, I think this is also helping a lot with like that responsibility for yourself, you know, like seeing progress, seeing yourself change in these positive ways. You know, it's really kind of putting a fire under my butt. Like, wow, you know, I can do all of these things.
Yeah.
You know, it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really love that. Sorry, I'm not trying to go negative,
No.
but I think
that's-
it's just, it's all part of it. You know,
It is. And you have to have, I mean, we have such a good support system. I feel like,
Mhm.
again, I think I've said this many times on the podcast, but I don't know if I could do it without the support system.
Yeah.
David's very supportive of anything I do as well, but he's not going to get it pushed under, you know, like
Mhm.
he wouldn't have pushed me to do the 75 hard.
Yeah.
He'd be like, whatever you want to do, babe, you know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but you and Maddie were like, we're doing this.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I appreciate you guys, and you need that support. You need
Yeah.
the different types of support. And
Yes, I think and we've talked about that too. He's always like, you need to have friends, you need to have other people besides us, you know, in your life, because that's just kind of part of my personality.
yeah,
I do need that sort of support in other ways. And yeah, I do feel like it's a healthy support. It's not like,
yeah,
you know, sometimes people are so, I don't know, we've talked about that I think already, but you know, they just feel like, I don't know, they're
in t-
and yeah, they're entitled to your time, or they're what was the word? They're just yeah.
yeah. I
They're
know
too
I
much
don't know how to put it into
too much
words,
work
but-
for me. I can't give that
Yeah.
much of myself,
Yeah.
you know. Anyway, yeah, I can't think of the word, but
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, anything else? Let's see. What else are we
Are you still reading that book then? Is that
Yeah.
the book you're on? What
Yeah.
about you?
I'm still in the same book.
Are
Same
ya?
book.
What about you? It's long.
I just finished oh my gosh. I just finished Getting Things Done book about being organized,
Oh yeah.
getting me even more organized than I am. But I just started a book called How to Talk to Your Kids So that They Will Listen, and Listen so Kids Will Talk.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So I just started that book because I've had it sitting there since the kids were little, and I never read
Yeah.
it.
So I read the little kids version of that, but I think that was
Yeah.
the original version.
I think
Anyway,
I
Yeah.
read one of them. I think I
yeah.
read the second one.
yeah. So
I
you
don't
read
know
that
which
same one?
I don't remember what the exact title was, but it's something.
I think
like
it's the
that.
same one.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
picked it up because I had it sitting there and didn't have time to go pick a book out. So
So how's that going?
far it's okay. I do feel like it is geared more towards younger kids.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I still can change the way I talk to my
Yeah.
kids and
Yes.
make changes now. they'd probably be in shock. Some of the, if I, because it's just out of character.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far so good.
See, that was my first like experience with like self-help books, being really struggling with them because
Yeah, you struggled with this
it
one.
bogs me down. The ideas like that I didn't do the things that they're saying in the book like I'm supposed to do. Like it's not like negative. They're not like you're a
Yeah.
horrible parent. They're not saying that.
Yeah.
They're just like, this is what some parents do. Maybe you should try doing this, right?
Yeah,
They give you
yeah.
examples of try doing this instead. But I'm like so insecure about it that I'm like, I'm a horrible mother.
Yeah.
It really
No,
is
it has
difficult.
made me feel like I've done
Feel
things
bad.
wrong. Like,
Yeah.
that I've talked wrong to my kids. But I don't know. I also took a step back and I was like, my kids are very communicative with me because we're very open communication family, I feel. And so that made me feel better, but it did make me feel bad, like thinking of the younger them and the
Yes.
way I responded
Yes.
to them. Because I did say, like, they'd say, I'm hungry, and I'd be like, you just ate,
Yeah.
and you're not supposed to say that. You're
Yeah.
supposed to say, oh, you're hungry. Okay.
Yeah, you're supposed to
Yeah.
just respond.
You just respond.
Which is a good skill to
Yeah.
have. Like I've really
Right.
learned a lot from those books. Yes,
Yes.
because I'm trying, especially with Declan, because I know I screwed up in how I handled him emotionally, right? But now I'm able to, like, when he's emotional, I'm able to just respond and
Yeah.
just repeat what he says, respond
Yeah.
in the proper ways, not like,
Yeah.
oh, stop it, or whatever,
Mhm.
like how I used
Yeah.
to do. That's how my parents did it. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
You're not allowed to have feelings.
It's been good. It's been a little enlightening,
Yeah.
and I'm trying not to let it make me feel like
Oh, good.
horrible.
Yeah, good. Because I couldn't. I got too bogged down in it.
I mean, it didn't. I don't know if I'm just soulless or what, but it didn't. It didn't affect me at all.
You're just
that way.
logical. You just are like,
I
well,
was just like, all right, I'm gonna try this the
From
new
now
way.
on.
Then,
Yeah.
I didn't
yeah,
know.
that's what it should be.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought that's how you were supposed to talk to your kids. But
Yeah.
I mean, so have you noticed any changes? Have you put it into effect?
Well, I just started it,
So
so I'm
it's
like
too early.
within the first chapter, and after the first chapter, it said to like not move on until you've attempted to try it or whatever
Oh,
as
yeah.
well. So it's kind
Yeah.
of more like workbooky in a sense.
Yeah.
It is.
So I was actually thinking about, because I'm almost done. I probably have one more day of reading, so I might start another book in the meantime too, and then still like throw that in. I don't know.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so far I have taken like a couple moments. I've had a couple moments where I was able to try to react differently. It was a new something.
They have an app too, which I haven't really used, but
or caught
it's,
myself.
It's
They
in
have
case
an
you're in a
app for
situation
this?
for this book. That
Oh,
you're talking
wow.
about on here. Just
Yeah.
called How to Talk.
I revert back all the time,
Do ya?
and I try to like stop myself, but it's
They
hard.
have, like,
it's
you
hard
can
to
buy
just
it.
not start threatening timeouts when
Yeah,
they're not
it
doing
really
what
is.
you want to do.
Yeah.
You're just like, all right, I'm gonna put you in timeout.
Revert back to that. I mean,
Yeah.
I have noticed a big change in Milo, even right in the beginning, like being able to just handle his outbursts.
Right.
Like he was progressing a lot faster, I think, in his learning, certain things. And like even now I noticed that he can handle, when you acknowledge his feelings, he's over it really fast. I think
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we've just been doing it that way. But with Declan, it's a lot harder because of the way we did it with him. So now
Yeah.
it's, it's a lot more difficult
That's how
because
I
he's
am with
established in
Israel.
how, yeah.
and he does, even if I acknowledge his feelings, it's like he still needs to keep going.
Yep.
And there's more, and
Yep.
he'll say the same thing, and
Yeah.
then to the point where I'm like, what else do you want me to say? Like, what's going to end this conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps nothing.
No.
Perhaps nothing. We'll just
Listening.
sit here and do this all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. Have you learned anything noteworthy in your book, or?
Yeah, I mean, I sit there and think about like the rules. One of them is like, what I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Is like, and he words things differently, because he's like super smart or
He's
whatever.
fancy with his
But-
wording.
So I don't always remember what the exact word is, but the rule is basically like, don't do what's expedient, do what's good. That's not what the rule is. I'm just totally like, but basically don't do what's fast, don't take the fast way, take the good way.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to apply that, to things that I'm doing. Like I'm building this thing and I'm really just like looking at it, and there are ways that I could totally make this go faster,
cut corners.
but it wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
And so I'm just spending the extra time, and it is working out. I mean, usually when I build things, I don't make them square. I'll try to make it square in the beginning, and then I give up. And with this thing, I've tried to make it as square as possible, and I've actually cut things and gone back. I fully welded this thing out of square, and I cut it off and did it again because of that rule.
Wow.
So I do see.
So you're looking more at details and
Yeah,
and
trying to
interesting.
get it, more perfect or whatever.
Yeah. Instead of rushing through. That's really
Yeah.
good for you, actually, because I have noticed that about our personalities is he's really good at seeing the big picture and executing the whole thing, but at the details about it by what did we say the
Yeah.
percentage was? He does
I get to 90%, and then I'm like, good enough, moving on.
yeah, and so typically
Yeah.
if there's something we're doing, he'll let me take care of the details because I'm more detail oriented. So I like to, I see the smaller things, but I can't see the big picture. I rarely see the big picture ever. So I struggle with those. That's what bogs me down too. I get really hyper focused on little things that don't matter probably.
Well, they probably do matter, but it's you get stuck on them.
Yeah.
So you can't get over them.
Yeah.
And so then what you'll do is you'll get stuck on this little thing, and then you'll just stop doing it completely and never do it again.
Yep.
And so they do matter, but the Freiberger saying is don't get it right, just get it running. He's like a car dude, and that's what his saying is. You could sit there with your project car sitting on the side of your house forever because you can't get it perfect.
Yeah.
Or you could get it running and start driving it, and you start working on it, and start building it little by little.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not perfect because maybe it never will be.
Yeah.
But at least
Well, that's why I'm putting so much emphasis on this idea. For me, it's such a revolutionary idea, I guess. Maybe not for you guys, but just to do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Don't
Just
think
do it.
twice. Just know what you need to do and do it. And it's for me, that's a huge deal because of that, because it's so easy for me to just be well, what if this and what if that?
Right.
And, it's totally a,
Well, see, I think does it happen to you too? Do you have the what ifs in your head?
All constantly.
Yeah. And me too.
My mind just goes all the
But
time.
we just I guess
you
we
overcome
just
them.
push through it and
Yeah.
do it
Yeah.
anyways. We're just well, I'm just going to see.
Yeah.
I'm going to go see what happens.
Yeah. I know.
I
I'm
try
just
to mentally
just prove it.
prioritize too, where those what ifs I'll do what I can even though they're there, and I'll worry about those later.
Yeah.
But if I can establish this at least, then then it's a
Interesting.
start. Then it's an establishment, and then I can figure out the rest later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Not worrying too much about the future or the past, I guess. That. Yeah, that's a really big deal. Staying in the.
sorry.
What's your price for flight?
What time
Good
do we
one.
need to go?
Whenever she needs to go.
Yeah, we can wrap it up, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to think if there's anything else.
I was gonna say something about what you said about your book, but I can't remember. Oh, did I turn my light on?
Yeah, your light's on
I don't know
now.
how I did that.
I left my light on for a while today. I pulled my phone out and the light was on. I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, I feel like that has been a big thing for you, because you've even told me that kind of recently, where you're it's hard because I just want to do the good thing, and I don't want to mess around anymore with cheap tools and cheap whatever this and that. I want to make
Yeah.
sure I'm doing it right the first time and doing it good, even if it costs more money, or even if it whatever, costs
Yeah.
more time. And I think that is really admirable, and it really is a good goal to have. I feel like I've been like that a lot more lately the past few years too, where as soon as I come into work, if I see something's on the floor, I'm not clocked in, but I'll grab it off the floor. Or just if somebody's got an item where it's there's a hole in the bag, I'm not just gonna pretend like I didn't notice. I noticed, I saw it. I'm not gonna, it's bad karma to just
Yeah.
that's putting bad things. And that's what I like about the book too. It talks about that, putting those
Yeah.
bad things into the universe, just those little things,
Yeah.
if you can think what's the right thing to do in this situation, I think your life will just automatically get better.
Yeah.
So
That ties into the compound effect book too.
oh, does it?
Where if you give that little extra, just do that little extra,
Uh-huh.
the projection it's going to take you
Exponentially
it's
better.
way
Yeah.
more than you think that little thing, that
So it's
little
like-
extra is.
It's like compound interest.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. I love that. I love those ideas, and I think they're so good to be implementing in our lives.
Yeah.
Right on. We're getting way more out of this than than just exercise and diet.
Yeah.
This is philosophical shit.
Yes.
This is deep. We're deep.
It's deep. Yeah, well, I mean, comment below. I think we're pretty much done.
What does
right?
that say? What did Jared say?
What?
So it,
No, that's Tyler. He said, great
Oh.
job persevering and pushing through with the lack of water.
oh.
Heck
Yes.
yeah.
Woo!
He commented that a long time
Oh,
ago.
okay. I just realized somebody said something, so I'm like, what does that say?
Yeah. I don't have the chat on here because nobody
Yeah.
chats, so, but yeah, there it is.
It's not interesting enough, but it's for us.
Well, I think it is, but it's
Yeah.
just that we don't have like a regular viewership because we just do it all over. They do watch it. They watch it after.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
We're getting some views?
Somebody's watching it.
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, we
Interesting.
get about as many views as all my other videos, which
And
isn't very
people can
many.
comment after the fact though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So can you go back and review the comments for the next episode
Yeah.
Oh.
So if
that might
anybody
give
has
us
any
ideas.
questions-
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
that you want to ask? We can answer them on the next episode.
Yeah. If we
Yeah.
have answers,
Yeah.
that'd be cool. That's a good idea. Right on.
Yeah. Tell us your questions. Hopefully this cough goes away by then because I'm tired of it. I'm sick of having this cough.
I'm sorry.
So
This
yeah,
is-
I mean, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll be here hopefully next Thursday. Maybe we might skip it.
Probably.
Don't hold us to it
Why?
because we're going camping next weekend, and so
Yeah. Oh, that's true, I guess. I mean, we could probably fit it in, though.
yeah, it should be fine. I don't know. I might cancel everything next week to get this project done. So
Yeah, he's building
Anyways.
a bathroom. He's building like a little outhouse on a trailer for us to have
yeah,
for camping so that because we're going to be tent camping.
Yeah.
yeah. The truck broke, so
Yeah,
no
so we
more,
don't have this-
no more fancy toy hauler.
Yeah. So,
No, we got.
and the tent's great. I like the tent.
Yeah,
It's
the kids
fine.
like
It-
the tent. So
yeah.
I'm
And sleeping
happy
in the
about-
truck is great. So
right.
we'll do that. But yeah, he wants to have like our own little bathroom, and Milo for sure will not be using the restrooms probably
Yeah,
at the campsite. So
yeah.
so it'd be nice to have our own little private area. So he's
Great.
trying to build that. And he's trying to, the last one didn't work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, we can skip next week, and then the week after is our like 2 days before, one day before
One
your
day
last
before
day.
and 2 days
It'll be
before.
day 70. If we do
that's crazy.
if we do 2 weeks from now, when
We'll
yeah,
be done.
yeah,
Oh, crazy.
it'll be our last podcast before we're done,
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
and then we could do a check in and
yeah, that's cool. Wow.
Anyway,
I can't believe it.
I know
Yeah.
it's crazy.
All right.
Cool.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks for
Bye.
coming.
Yeah, come back soon. I mean, we'll be back. Comment your questions, like she said, and we'll answer them.
Bye.
Bye.